Number two DM in my bitch. That's cool, that's why.
And when I heard that at the end of Family Ties, I knew eventually it was going to be smoke with Drake, because Drake was up to his old tricks with Kendrick this time. Drake is known for this. He's known for messing with other people's females. That's probably the main reason he has any beef with most people. Chris Brown, all the stuff in the past, The Weeknd, et cetera, et cetera. But I knew it was going to be smoke with Kendrick after I heard that part of Family Ties. And let this be a lesson to everybody out there. Now, I know there's a lot of man-woman hate going on these days, if you saw all over YouTube, especially amongst the culture. But some people, a lot of people actually, are in very happy relationships, and they absolutely don't play about their significant other. And if you mention them in any kind of derogatory way, or you try to interrupt their relationship, you can end up being destroyed, like Drake was in this battle. All right, let's get into it. This will be a review, lyrics explained, of Family Ties, at least just Kendrick's verse, in honor of what some is calling one of the best battles of all time, for sure, between him and Drake. We all know, especially if you're subscribed or listening to this channel. So I'm going to be releasing this. So today is Kendrick's birthday. Happy birthday, June 17th. Kendrick Lamar, one of the greatest of all time. I don't want to start any debates in the comments. He's my greatest of all time at this point in history. But one of the best MCs of all time. This was very dope verse by Kendrick at the end of Family Ties by Baby Keem. Shout out to Baby Keem as well, his cousin. And Juneteenth, the concert will be in a couple days. That's going to be exciting. I'm going to be reviewing that. I'm going to be watching the stream and the whole 9 yards. But without further ado, let's get into it. Family Ties, lyrics explained by Baby Keem, featuring Kendrick Lamar. Let's go. So he starts the first verse, of course, smoking on your top 5 tonight. And then smoking on your chosen tonight. Smoking on your what's the name tonight. I said that in the wrong order, but whatever. Now, I don't think Kendrick was directly talking to just Drake at the beginning and throughout most of the verse. I think he was pretty much, because there's a lot of people who throw little sneak disses and a lot of people who say things that could be considered shots at the idea of Kendrick being number one. So I think when he's talking about that smoking on yo, he's talking about a lot of people in the rap game, pretty much everybody. So then he continues, I'm the Omega, PG Lang, Rolly Gang, SIE, don't you address me unless it's with 4 letters. Bitch, I thought you know him better. I've been ducking the pandemic. I've been ducking the social gimmicks. I've been ducking the overnight activists. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with I am the Omega. Now, Omega is also a luxury watch, but Omega is the end. It's the last letter in the Greek alphabet, of course, the Bible, the beginning, the alpha, and the end is the Omega, right? So then he goes, PG Lang, of course, is the label, him and Dave Free, which Baby Keem is signed to. Rolly Gang, of course, Rolex watch. So he's talking about time too. And in essence, being on his own time, so to speak, right? Because he was taking a long time to come out with the album. Everybody was, kind of down on him, especially during 2020 for not dropping the album. Everybody thought Kendrick would have something to say about the pandemic, which he addressed later. Then he goes SIE. Now, the initials SIE, that can be an acronym for self-imposed exile. Okay, so that would again be him addressing the time issue that everybody had with him. But SIE as a word, SI, stands for one affectionately regarded. So that's a double entendre there, has a double meaning, so to speak. Then he goes into the 4 letters part. Don't you address me unless it's with 4 letters. Now, 4 letters could be K dot, 4 letters could be GOAT, 4 letters could be King, as in King Kendrick. We know he refers to himself as that as well. So that's kind of a triple there. People automatically went to GOAT, but it could be K dot, it could be King, right? Depending on who you are. So now, I thought you know him better. Again, now I think that when he is talking to Drake, because Drake was sneak dissing throughout the Dark Lane mixtapes, whatever that was called, in 2020 that he released. Then he said, I've been ducking the pandemic. I've been ducking the social gimmicks. I've been ducking the overnight activists. A lot of people became activists, Drake, Lil Baby, and a lot of other people during 2020. Totally out of character for them as artists, but it's their prerogative to do that. However, if you, from an artist like Kendrick's standpoint, it's gimmicky, and it probably looks like pandering to him. All right, so that's probably why he mentioned that in there. So let's continue. Then he says, I'm not a trending topic. I'm a prophet. I answer to Metatron and Gabrielle. I am a legacy. I come from the 70, the Al Green, Offspring, Guns, and the Melody. The Big Shot, wrist on cryotherapy. Now, soon as I press that button, nigga better get right like the ambulance coming. Us two ain't alike. He ain't been through nothing. Dave Free got at least one beat in the oven. So he addressed a lot there. He's kind of highlighting the separation between him and artists like Drake, but also he's highlighting how he's just as successful as they are, being who he is. And that's pretty much been a theme throughout Kendrick's career in his verses, right? He's doing it his own way, and he's showing you can be successful doing it your own way and having a message and standing on something and not being an industry puppet. That's what the I'm not a trending topic and I'm a prophet part is about. You know what I'm saying? And then the Metatron and Gabrielle, this is where, you know, the slick writing and the deep writing comes into play because he's a Gemini, right? Now, Metatron was known as the scribe of God. The Archangel Gabriel was known as the voice of God. Writing and speech and communication are both aspects or attributes of Gemini and the planet Mercury, if you're into astrology, right? So he's getting into the deep meaning of who he is there, right? And what is he as a rapper, as an MC, as an artist? He's a person who writes and delivers a message. Then he goes and, of course, looking for a better me. Of course, that's what he does. That's what he's on his journey artistically and in every other way in his life, right? Looking for a better me to better himself and help others along the way with his message. And then when he gets into the Al Green, Offspring, and the Guns and the Melody talk, he and Al Green have similar backgrounds. Al Green coming from Detroit City, Kendrick being from Compton. Okay, you come up through violence, but you still create, you come out of that and you still create excellent music and messages for the people. That's what he's talking about. And in the 70s, you know, it was a tumultuous time in our community with drugs kind of hitting the community then. And a lot of good music and art came out of that period, right? Then he goes into the Big Shot wrist on cryotherapy. Now, Big Shot was the name of one of the songs on the Black Panther soundtrack, in which he was kind of mimicking Drake, making fun of his rap style. Wrist on cryotherapy, of course, that's a callback to the watches that he mentioned in Omega and the Rolly Gang. But cryotherapy, of course, diamonds, that's what that means, iced out watch. But cryotherapy is also how you preserve things over time. You freeze them, right? So that could be also him expressing what he writes can be preserved over time or last through time, so to speak, like wrist on cryotherapy. That's kind of a reach, but let's continue. Now, as soon as I press that button, now we know this, all of this is, he kind of called back to this and Not Like Us and the other diss songs, right? Because we know when he pressed that button, then he said, nigga better get right like the ambulance coming. Of course, he mentioned the amber lamps and Not Like Us. Then he mentions Us Two Ain't Alike. He ain't been through nothing. Again, Not Like Us. And Dave Free got at least one beat in the oven. Now, Kendrick is talking about billionaire ideas or $1 billion status, so to speak, right? I think that's what he's referring to. Of course, this is where Drake probably gets the baby daddy reference and one of Kendrick's kids being Dave Freeze. So this was Drake also calling back to this song in Family Matters. So again, like I said, both MCs did pretty well during the battle. It's just Kendrick is levels above Drake and it showed. Now, he gets into this part where he starts the Hulk Hogan imitation, right? I'll just read it right quick. I'm tripping, I'm jugging, my mental is amazing, brother. Pop off only on occasion, brother. Rich nigga mama know I made it, brother. Go figure, never call cases, brother. Face it, brother. Gracious, brother. New flows come and be patient, brother. Show my ass and take y'all to class. I can multitask like Megan, brother. Now, there's not a lot of double meanings in there that I can catch too much, but Drake did play as Hulk Hogan in 2016 on Saturday Night Live. And he also performed the song Hype, where he was sneak dissing Kendrick in that song. So I think that's why Kendrick was doing the Hulk Hogan impersonation. Drake also, I believe, dissed the whole cast of SNL on a little skit that they had where it was called Beef or something like that. So that's why Kendrick is kind of calling back to that as well. Like, I've been watching you take shots at me this whole time, right? So he's kind of bringing it all back up as, you know, things, as tension leads to a battle eventually, right? because this is what, 2021, and his album comes out the next year. So, and he did throw a couple shots in Rich Spirit off of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers in 2022. But anyway, back to the verse. Okay, so pop off only on occasions, brother. Again, Kendrick is not into all of this sneak dissing and back and forth and competition. He doesn't really see it as a competition anyway. And that's what he goes on to explain. New flows coming, be patient, brother. He's letting us know that don't worry, the album is coming and I will address you yet again. So that's what Rich Spirit is about, as well as there's a couple other lines that could be geared at Drake on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, even though it's more of a conversation piece about his life. Then I can multitask, show my ass and take y'all to class. I can multitask like Megan, brother. Of course, he's talking about Megan Thee Stallion, because as she was becoming a famous rapper, she was also getting her degree. So shout out to Megan for that. Now, let's continue the verse. 2021, I ain't taking no prisoner. Last year, y'all fucked up all the listeners. Who went platinum? I called that a visitor. Who the F backing them? All been falsified. The facts mean this a vaccine and the game need me to survive. The Elohim, the rebirth. Before you get to the Father, you gotta holler at me first. So Kendrick is basically just announcing his return, letting everybody know I am back. Okay, whatever y'all did on my hiatus, 2019, 2020, don't take it serious, right? Who went platinum? I call that a visitor, right? Who backing them? Again, now he's showing the difference in being a pushed and propped up artist versus being a real artist that, you know, whose music kind of speaks to the fans. You know what I'm saying? It's not just party garbage music, you know, who the F backing them, all been falsified. That's what he means by that. Now he's saying the facts mean this is a vaccine, meaning him coming back is the vaccine that everybody was looking for in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was looking for me. Y'all all dropped records during that time, but everybody was still waiting on me. The Elohim, the rebirth. Now, Elohim is the return of God, right? That's basically what that means. The Elohim, the rebirth. Now, God, Elohim is God's plural, but you know, you can take it either way. And the last line about before you get to the Father, you gotta holler at me first. You know, that set up kind of the marketing and the messaging for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right? So Kendrick is putting himself at God tier, right? And saying you all are below that, period, point blank. Now, when he ended the verse, okay, smoking on top fives, mother F that album, F that single, burn that hard drive, okay? He's putting everybody on notice, ain't nobody safe. When I come, I'm killing everybody that's outside. And in the background, it says, who you with? Now, I think this was a warning for everybody, knowing what was coming, to you better choose sides now. And as we see, a lot of people did choose Kendrick's side over Drake and over others who may be trying to come at Kendrick. Then he continues the verse, yeah, Kanye changed his life, but me, I'm still an old school Gemini, meaning that Kanye pieced it up with Drake. Kanye became super religious and peaceful for a while. Now we know it didn't last. But Kendrick is like, I'm not on that type of time. Even though I'm making the Jesus and angel references and the God references, it's gonna be war when I come out, right? Then we get to him and Baby Keem going back and forth. So then he says, 2 phones and I only got one in this bitch. Now 2 phones is also a nickname for Baby Keem from his very first album. But 2 phones can also mean there's 2 messages that I bring, right? There's a peaceful message and there's a warning message. He said, I'm only bringing one. And we can tell which one that is, right? 1 daughter, but they are my sons in this bitch. Of course, he's, again, letting everybody know, y'all not on this level. No hoes ain't shit getting done in this bitch. Now, normally, you know, there's a saying about, you know, have women balance things out to get things done, especially ordering men around. Shout out to the ladies for keeping us on our toes, I guess. But he's also saying, ain't no hoes over here, so y'all ain't doing nothing over here, right? That's how I took it anyway. Now, the most important part of this song to me, as far as the beef and everything is concerned, and the battle is concerned, was this part by Baby Keem.
Number 2 DM in my bitch. That's cool, and that's why.
And when I heard that at the end of Family Ties, I knew eventually it was gonna be smoke with Drake, because Drake was up to his old tricks with Kendrick this time. Drake is known for this. He's known for messing with other people's females. That's probably the main reason he has any beef with most people. Chris Brown, all the stuff in the past, The Weeknd, etc., etc. But I knew it was gonna be smoke with Kendrick after I heard that part of Family Ties. And let this be a lesson to everybody out there. Now I know there's a lot of man-woman hate going on these days, if you saw all over YouTube, especially amongst the culture. But some people, a lot of people actually, are in very happy relationships, and they absolutely don't play about their significant other. And if you mention them in any kind of derogatory way, or you try to interrupt their relationship, you can end up being destroyed like Drake was in this battle. So let that be a lesson to all. You may be unhappy in your situation, but some people are very protective of their families. All right? Don't mention people's families if you don't really know them in no battle records. Ever. Don't do it. Leave it alone. Just talk about that person and people in music that's around them. All right? Don't talk about Pharrell's woman. Don't talk about Rick Ross. Well, it's too late for that. But leave people's females out of the situation and you might save your career. This is a message for Aubrey. Yes. But anyway, man, that's it. Kendrick Lamar, Family Ties, Lyrics Explained. Happy birthday, Kendrick Lamar. Once again, great record by he and Baby Keem. Looking forward to both of their next albums. As always, man, hit that like button. Hit it right now. The like button, please. If you listen this far, you can at least do that. Thank you very much for hitting that like button. Now hit that subscribe button. It's the red one. Yes, sir. If you're not already subscribed, most of you probably are. Now hit that notification bell for me. And now share the video. Tell a friend to tell a friend, trying to get to 10,000 subs. But thank you all for watching. I will continue this. Like I said, probably the next video will probably not be, it'll be the Pharrell song. Then we'll do the review of the concert for Juneteenth, Kendrick Lamar. So thank you all for watching, man. And as always, we are out.